finns det igår med finns med paket eller vanlig. Var du ute efter invägd Mickes? Eller blandade jag ihop?
Nej, jag var ute efter att köpa CD-erna, va?
Ja, just det.
Så tänkte jag, har ni ny? Men det var inte.
Nej, de dök upp de där CD-skivorna.
Och det så hon var Paul McCartney nu. Några vänner av mig, de var så glada.
Du råkar inte ha en 10.
Hej allihopa, Morten again from Stockholm. This is my last day here. Not entirely sure what to do with it. I'm tired, I'm beat. Been walking a lot for me. And yeah, not sure, but I've had some really nice days, guys. And this video contained clips and scenery of Stockholm from Sunday. I took the metro down and changed metro line to go one more stop to the last stop on the line that ends up at Kungsträdgården. I don't remember if I've been to that metro station before. It seems very new, and it is so deep down. So when you get off there, you walk through some long-ish corridors with some. You saw that weird artwork, and then you take escalator up, which is one of the longest I've ever been on. That one and the escalator at Helsinki airport for some reason is also really steep and long. And you come up there by the sort of southern end of Kungsträdgården, the park in the middle of Stockholm, well, one of them. And then you go down to ferry quay. And I had thought I wanted to go on a ferry ride. But there was so many people there and kids and, noisy. And I could see the ferry that I was contemplating taking out to a place called Vaxholm, filling up. And then I was unsure if it was that one, because I think those lines used to be on the travel app for SL, and now they seem to have broken free and become another company. It was so confusing. I ended up just letting the ferry leave, and then I sat there looking at the scenery and the royal palace across the water there, and just enjoyed that for a while. With that bench around me got filled up with people with small kids and stuff, so I walked from there. Walked through Kungsträdgården and then up, and I had a coffee, and then I took the metros to a place. If you know Stockholm, there's mainland, but in between there's these islands where you have Gamla stan, and you have this bigger island with lots of residential areas called Söder, or the Södermalm. And I went to the westernmost point at Södermalm to second-hand record store that I had read up on called Mickes, and it's open every single day of the week apparently, and on Sundays as well. And I think the opening hours is like 10 until 10, and it was kind of like a bit of a walk back in time. Really nice place, filled to the really lots of stuff stuffed into a relatively small shop, and you could hear these guys coming in and talking to the guys working there, and you get a little bit of a feeling it's a bit of a hangout for my kind of people, guys getting older, having somewhere to go talk to like-minded people. And a lot of the records there felt like I was going back to a second-hand record store maybe 10, 15 years ago, before vinyl had a resurgence and everything, because you found stuff that you don't necessarily see anymore, and if you do, it costs a lot more than it did there. And after I left there, I took which I hadn't done so far on this trip. I did it lots of times when I was here last. I took the bus all the way around, almost entirely back to where I'm staying, not having to change metros or anything. And I don't know if you hear that sound. There's like a never-ending trucks and trucks emptying out garbage and bottle banks and stuff around here, and seagulls, lots of seagulls. I was in Gamla stan yesterday, and I was just sitting and drinking my iced coffee, and I could hear cutlery and plates crashing on the ground and smashing. I turned around and these two really big seagulls had taken the opportunity to clean out someone's plates. Some people had just left, having eaten their lunch before the cleanup people came, and yeah, that was a bit of a mess. Broken Coke bottles and everything. No, so what I was saying, I got back home and there was an Ica shop just up the street here, who had So anyway, I went to an Ica shop just up the street here that I hadn't been to before, because I usually walk the opposite direction when I leave here, and they had a soda that we used to have in Norway when I was a kid, but it was always a thing to buy this soda when you went to Sweden. But it's been really difficult to find it over the last few years, even though they kind of call it, oh, it's our national soda, it's the Iron Brew of Sweden or whatever, and it's Pumak, so that was kind of cool. I haven't had it yet. I was contemplating drinking it tonight or taking it with me to Oslo. But that's not what you came for. You came to see, did Morten buy any records at Mickes? Yes, I did. So I want to show you. So I actually put back a couple of things that I was really quite keen to get. And but then I found something else. So I put that back. In the aftermath, I'm thinking, why did I buy the singles and not that one other record that I wanted? But they're kind of cool singles. Because I hadn't really looked at singles that much so far on this trip. So I did ask for he had something by NXS, but didn't seem. There was some tiny rooms in the back where there were loads and loads of singles that were like 10 kroner each, like $1 or whatever. But there was one guy sitting there on a chair looking through them, and I couldn't get to them, so yeah. But anyway, I bought another Take On Me by Aha, but with a cover I hadn't seen before. Here you are. And by the way, the prices, I was happy to see, are on the plastic sleeves and not the record. So yeah, I think this one is German, or yeah, manufactured in Germany, it says anyway. So quite a different cover than the one I have. And then I found, some of you may know that I have been collecting 10cc and records, and I'm kind of done that. I've gotten all I can, except their very last the very last record on vinyl. It's fairly rare, but once in a while I do pick up a 10cc single. So this is a single from when they were reduced to a duo, or the 2 core members. So this would be from Deceptive Bends. I always loved their single. I love the 70s iconography. And then I bought not the prettiest. This is a Scandinavian of Echo and the Bunnymen, Never Stop. And I'm not a huge fan of the back, but there you are. Another Echo and the Bunnymen for the collection. And I found this, and this is a UK one, so this one is more up my street, so to speak. So yeah, this is The Back of Love. So it's been on my want list for a while. You see, Corolla and everything. And finally, I found one more for my Style Council collection. I don't know if you guys noticed, it was very brief in one of my videos a couple of days ago from Gamla Stan. There was a shop called Style Council. I thought that was kind of trippy. This is TSC5. There. So this one was from Café Bleu. Bleu. So, did I buy any albums? Yes, I did. And fairly big finds for me. I found an album by Echo and the Bunnymen. And as you've probably seen, or I may have told earlier, I have all their studio albums from, you know, their initial existence. And now, a few days ago, or a week or two ago, again, time flies, I got Evergreen, their first album after their reunion. And I also have their next one. And then I don't have any other, you know, subsequent albums on vinyl from after that. Now this one I've never owned on CD either, because I have all the others on CD. And I never heard it, and I actually tried to buy it when it came out, and I went up to the guy in the store and he said, "Do you really want that?" And I said, "Yeah, it's Echo and the Bunnymen." And we're talking, you know, late 80s now, 89 probably. And he said, "Well, Ian McCulloch's not the singer anymore." And I put it back, and I've never, but I wanted it because, now I want it because I want, you know, I want all of Echo and the Bunnymen's discography. I'm gonna remove this. So I got Reverberation. How cool is that? I think that's pretty cool. So it was released 1990, yeah. It was released after Ian McCulloch in the fall of '89 released his wonderful solo debut, Candleland. And there was no internet at that time yet, and I was thinking, oh great, we got an Ian McCulloch solo album, and now Echo and the Bunnymen are back. And he said, no, this, you know, Ian McCulloch's not a member anymore. Yep, okay, putting it back. So it's got a nice inner sleeve, still with the Korova. And this sold nothing. And Warner Brothers actually dropped them after this. They had a couple of single releases after this, self-released, I think, yeah. And then the band, you know, just folded after that. And we had to go up until, was it 95? When Ian and Will and is it Freitas got back together and made that electrification or electrication album, and then decided to continue playing as making another album, but decided to make that a Echo and the Bunnymen album. Yeah, we had Les Pattison. Yeah, Les Pattison was the one who rejoined Echo and the Bunnymen, but he only lasted for a couple of albums. Damon Reese on drums. Of course, their previous drummer had passed away. Will Sargent, and we had on keyboards and mellotron, we had Jake Brockman, but the singer was Noel Burke. And there's the inner sleeve there. So yeah, pretty cool. Now they did have a heavy metal section, of course they did. It's Sweden, where I found this beauty, which I wanted. I had this record when I was a teenager. I don't know what happened to it, but I think it's one of the records that some of my records were actually stolen when my house was burgled in Denmark. The first time it was burgled, because it happened a couple of times, and a lot of my records actually disappeared. I found out sort of when I started looking through them later on. My Accept records, my old Saxon records, I had a couple of Megadeth, which pains me as well now. But one of the records that I thought I still had for a long time, because I had one of his other records left, but this one disappeared as well, and now I got it back. Speak of the Devil, Ozzy Osbourne. And I mean, Sunday, how many days later? Was it a week and a day after, Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne said goodbye to us all? So I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, this record came about, if I remember correctly. Ozzy had recorded 2 solo albums. Black Sabbath had moved on with, Ronnie James Dio. And there was something about the rights to the Black Sabbath music potentially lapsing. And if they recorded, if they released albums containing Black Sabbath stuff, they would somehow retain it or something like that. And that's both camps. That's both, Black Sabbath and Ozzy. So Black Sabbath, of course, made Live Evil, wasn't it? And we all know the story there. And it created started all kinds of trouble, and Ronnie James Dio ended up leaving Black Sabbath over this, and mixing and what have you, and Ozzy was also told to record Black Sabbath live stuff. So he told his then band that we are going to do some shows recording Black Sabbath songs, and the other members of the Ozzy band, especially Rhodes, balked at this and said, no, we are not playing other people's songs or recording other people's songs. We're with you, with Ozzy Osbourne now. We don't want this. And I think Ozzy apparently had a drinking, really drank extra much, and then confronted the band and called them or fired them all or something. And then in the end they sort of came to a truce, which I think all fell apart when Randy died. But this was then finally recorded with Brad Gillis on guitar, Rudy Sarzo on bass, and Tommy Aldridge on drums. So yeah, bit of a notorious. I recorded live at the Ritz in New York on the 26th and 27th of September '82. So I mean, this was all set up basically in order to simply get these songs recorded. Here we are. That's more like it. So yeah, it's an odd one, and I was going to say I have this on CD, but I don't think it's been repressed. I think, yeah, this is a Dutch pressing. Jet. This is also the last album on Jet. Last of 3. Because Ozzy, Sharon took over his managing, and they broke with her dad, and the record label, and then Epic took over, I think, which was the same distribution, I guess, but yeah, I think so. So anyway, guys, pretty nice little haul there from Mickes. So if you are in Stockholm, I really would recommend that you head there. There's lots of treasures in there, and it's a little bit out of the way from all the other stuff. So yeah, it's maybe a little different vibe as well, but and lots of opportunities to get something to eat out there. With a lot of cafes and restaurants and stuff around that corner of Stockholm as well. So hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I think maybe I'll just manage to make one quick more video, because I have one more record I bought yesterday, but also more Stockholm video to show, and then I'm heading back to Oslo tomorrow morning, hopefully. So thanks for watching. Please click like, that helps my channel, and if you want to subscribe, hey, that makes me happy, and please leave a comment. Take care, guys. Bye.